Well, hello, and welcome back to my channel. We scored some fabrics, a bunch of fabrics. And right now I'm cleaning all the fabrics. So that way I can do a whatnot auction. I'm going to do a whatnot auction with old fabrics. Like these are like this one right here. We got Dumbo and the Chippendales, and that's just so neat. I guess I got it the wrong way, sorry. But yeah, check that out. So, just getting these all washed. They were stored in like I guess a garage, and in the garage there was a lot of over the years. I guess they're in there for a long time, but there was like just a lot of moisture in the air and garage smells and stuff like that. So even though they were in a bin and obviously they're already clean and unused, well, some anyways, they've been cut, but I'm washing everything just to get a new fresh smell of everything. I used so much stuff. I used some OxyClean and some Tide with OxyClean and some softeners and stain removers and some smell goods and some unsmell bads. I don't know, but lots and lots of stuff. So that is always cool. See, like, what do we got here? A large scrap. There's a lot of cool. I got some in the dryer, and then there's some in Bird's room back here. Bird don't like doors, so took the doors off. I don't have a door on my room either. I don't really like being trapped behind doors. I don't know. When there's just a door there, I wouldn't have a door on my house if I didn't need to. Like, it might sound weird, but I just don't like doors. I like the opportunity of freedom. Well, with me, truthfully, the reason why I personally don't like doors is because in 2016, unfortunately, what was it, 2016? Yeah, a house fire in my home, the apartment, and then I went back inside to go and get kitty cat in the fire, and like, I ended up burning my hand so bad, completely, because that door handle was so hot in the bathroom where the kitty cat was, and like when I first touched it, it sucked, but like it was now or never, so I was like, okay, F it. I got it open, and then it was, but like the doctor, when I went to that burn clinic, because there was all like 3rd-degree burns, you would never know. You would never know that I had 3rd-degree burns on this hand. Like, it didn't even affect my tattoo, and it's so weird. But the doctor gave me this stuff. It was like 100% zinc. I'm almost like positive. 100% zinc or 100% sulfur. One of the two. And maybe one should even be in that too, but it was one of the two. And I was told to just put like a light coating on it, several times a day. There was going to be scarring, so on and so forth. Lots of scarring, so on and so forth. But that didn't make no sense to me, because if putting on a thin layer was going to leave scarring a little bit, that implies a thin layer is also then going to take away some of the scarring that could be. Why wouldn't I just put a thick ass layer on and take away all the scarring? I mean a thick layer. And I did. And you know what? I guess I probably shouldn't say 0 scars, because there could be some scarring, like let's say, under my tattoo. But visually, you would have never known that my entire hand was like a 3rd-degree blister. Like, it was disgusting. Yeah. So, yeah, it was an experience. But I think that's why I don't really care for doors. I don't even, I don't know. I just don't like doors now. Maybe it's not so much the door. I don't like door handles. But they obviously serve a purpose. Suppose you can't just be leaving your doors open all the time when you got children. Somebody just shouldn't be walking in perhaps should come along and act the fool. But back to the fabrics. Did you see that some of these weren't fabrics? Actually, I'm not gonna wash these in this. They're just my tablecloths. Now, like my home is very decorated and how can I not put a label on it, but still making the same point? I don't like labeling things. How about this? When people come over to my home, they often ask me, "Does a woman live here?" I'm like, "No. Like, why would you ask that? I mean, besides Bird, obviously." And it's always because of how decorative I have it and stuff like that. But I do that for Bird. Like, the house is very, per se, I don't want to say girly or feminine. I don't like describing it. But I often get asked that. You would have thought maybe Bird decorated it. But oh, I mean, I love colors and I love decorations. Obviously, I love like antiques and ceramics and all that other good stuff. I mean, I didn't used to, but I have so much passion and love for them now because like I'm learning how much other people love them, and then it's giving me a way to connect to other people. So that's really cool. Like having all these stores is, to me cool in many different ways. Obviously, I'm doing it for a purpose. Cruise for schools. I am going to build a homeless shelter, starting with my town. I am going to do everything that I said I was going to do about turning the homeless into heroes, housing them, getting them trained, and then having them just hang out in front of our schools instead of in the alleyways. You hang out in front of our schools, and you got metal detecting wands, and you're always ready just to metal detect somebody if they come on the property. You ain't got to ask because, well, you're not a part of that school. You're not a part of that organization. You're just an unhomeless guy now, or an unhomeless gal now, or an unhomeless they or them now. And what you're doing is just, instead of asking for change, you don't need change no more because you are your house now. Fogarty and Friends, we figured that out. Now you just got your wands, and instead of change, you just like zip, zip. And as long as you ain't hearing no metal, then you just let them go about their business. But if you go zip, zip, and all of a sudden you start hearing that shit that says, "Oh, there's some metal in there," you just start getting loud. Why are you trying to take metal into school? What's your issue? And I guarantee you, when you got a school this big, okay? You got a school this big, all right? Think about this. How many homeless people here? Here's your school this big, okay? We'll do it this way, okay? And now, just chilling out here. Here's a door here. We got a door here, whatever. Gymnasium, I don't even care. But and then you just got all these, unhomeless people just chilling, talking, hanging out, surviving like they always did, except they're not surviving because now they have a way to survive. So really, they just hanging out, reminiscing. You remember how we used to have to do this, but we were so hungry and we didn't have our families, but now we're just chilling out here, just chilling because we want to, not because we have to, not because any school's paying us, but we're just chilling out here, protecting lives, protecting the students, stopping people from walking into schools with weapons. And you're like, well, how's that going to stop it? Think about this. Okay. Think about this psychologically. Okay. This is more of a psychological impact than a physical impact. Instead of having like a bunch of, security and plans ready if somebody does bust out with a weapon. Think about this on a psychological level. You got somebody laying in bed and they're about to obviously be a part of a horrendous future set of actions, which that set of actions would be, going into a school and creating mass destruction. Okay, they're sitting there, they're plotting it, they're thinking it. Now this is before Cruise for Schools. Okay, so before and after. So before all the unhomeless are in the yard, my program, Cruise for Schools, these people, they're laying in bed, they're thinking about it, they're making a plan. And I'm sorry, but that plan that they're sitting there thinking about, that's going to work. You want to know why it's going to work? Because it always has worked. There's zero security. There's zero substantial security in schools. Period. 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 There's not. If somebody can get in with a weapon, that's all it takes. Because rather there's people inside at the front door to stop you, you just may take them out. I mean, gosh, does anybody know any schools actually have sufficient security? I mean, let's be real. Like, sufficient security to be able to 100% stop, crime from happening inside that school? If there is, leave in the comments by all means, because I don't want to knock something that's there. However, if there is something there, then please explain to me why it hasn't been shared with all these other schools that have just, I don't know, been a part of fucking destruction. So, having said that, sorry, I get a little worked up over this. It's crazy. So, anyways, you got these people, they're sitting there and they're thinking, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to give people ideas by saying, okay, first I'm going to do this and that. But they're sitting there, detailed, planning on how they're going to be so evil. And there's not a scare in the world in the aspect of knowing this is what they're going to do and a 100% mission to do it. And those in the past that have done it have guaranteed laid there, just as I'm saying, and made their plan and successfully completed their plan. And whether they unalived themselves in the process or got captured after the fact, regardless, innocent people died. And I really shouldn't even say innocent people. Yes, that's the truth, but I don't think anybody deserves to die. I believe there's a reason to be punished. Even if you take someone else's life, I don't think you deserve to die. Nobody deserves to die. Many deserve to get punished, even if they unalive somebody. There is a severe punishment due, but taking someone's life makes you no better than the person that once took someone's life. Period. Having said that, anyways, you got them people, they're laying in bed, and they're thinking all this through, and then they go in and they do it. So now let's check this out. Now you got crews for schools. And let's say you got 100 homeless people standing in the yards. We'll say 100, okay? Standing in the yards of every school. And truthfully, there are some schools out there that I know are so huge that 100's only going to cover a corner. So we're just going to say we have somebody in the yard every 10 feet, every 20. I'm serious, heck. There's billions. I bet you there's a billion homeless people in the world. A billion out of the 8 billion people we have. I bet you there's a billion people that need help, that are willing to help themselves, have no way to do it, but would love to be a part of crews. I would. A billion people worldwide that would help, that would be a part of this program. So let's say we got that. So that means if there's a billion people, I guarantee you there's a billion people out there that are hurting so bad that if they knew about this program that I'm working on starting, they'd be like, okay, not only am I going to benefit others, but I can also benefit myself with this. Why wouldn't I? And you don't need nothing. But anyways, so now think about this. Now let's go back to where the kids laying in bed or the adults laying in bed or whoever, they're about to go create destruction inside of the school. And we're on the psychological thing about what they're thinking, why they're going to do it, why they're comfortable doing it, because obviously they're comfortable doing it because they know they're going to get in there. Like, what's the point of going to shoot up the school if, like, you have any doubt that you can get in there? Maybe a little doubt, because there's always, like, that chance that maybe you'll get stopped on the way randomly if someone sees your weapons, whatever. So, I mean, there's never, like, 100%. Hell, maybe you fall dead on the way there. Point is nothing's 100%. But, sheesh, the way it's been lately and all that other, since I've been alive and all the shootings, it seems like everybody's had a good fucking 98% of a chance of doing it, and success has always been there. So, okay, there's more or less no reason at this point in time for anybody to think, well, a serious twice. It's, let's just continue to think how much destruction can we do? How much? What, this and that? Because what? There's nothing to stop from getting in. And once they're in there, they no longer give a shit. So now, let's think about this. Now we have the Crews for Schools program. Now there's people, unhomeless, in the yards every day, hanging out, trained, background checks, 100% safe for the presence of children, adults, everybody like that. So we're not talking just random, like everybody will go through a complete training program, and they'll be trained by all those amazing veterans that are out there that have served our country and are homeless just straight up because of, well, most of the time it's financial situations, not all the time, maybe a bad choice here and there, but regardless, they hold the knowledge to help me help everybody else with, like, training, proper training for self-defense. No weapons, period. No weapons. Just hand-to-hand self-defense, because shit does get real. Let's say, well, we won't get that far yet. But no weapons. This is a no-weapon program because it's all psychological. So there won't need to be no weapons. Hell, there's not even going to be an incident to where someone's going to try to mess with this. Hear me out. So now let's go back to where there's all the unhomeless. They're in the yards, okay, and just hanging out, having a good old time, doing whatever it is individuals do when they're chatting. All right, we all do things a little bit differently. So now you got this guy, girl, gal, they, them, whoever. You know, they're laying in bed and they're thinking, how can I do mass destruction? And they're thinking about it. They're putting together their plan. Well, that's pretty. Getting all that done, getting their weapons around, whatever. But then, boom, this hits them, which has never hit anybody before. But how am I going to make it past all of them metal detectors? Because everybody in that schoolyard, the Crews for School, has a wand that will, in fact, wand you. Guaranteed. That's what they're there for. And there are so many of them that even if 20 people showed up at the same time, there's still 3 people to serve each one of those people. 3 unhomeless to serve each one of them people. 3 Crews for Schools members to wand each one of those people. Period. Because there's enough homeless in the world to where that's possible. So now we got to think about that. Now they're like, I want to go there. I want to shoot up this school. Not me, but just saying, this is what psychologically, people are thinking. But how am I guaranteed to get in now? If I don't get in, I could try to take people out to get in, but there's so many Crews for Schools out there, so many people, that even if I do take out 1 or 2 or 3, there's still going to be more to stand in front of that door. Eventually, I'm going to have to reload. There's just so many there. There's going to be people coming at me. There's going to be, authorities called. There's going to the chance of me getting out of this and then succeeding in my mission to actually go into the school. I'm at the school. I want to go to the school. That's what I want to do because that was my plan all along. How am I supposed to do that? Like, how am I supposed to successfully do this? Is this a good idea? And then, of course, if it was something they were really planning on, then they'd probably be like, yeah, okay, well, what if I did? And then they're going to go all left and right. They're like, well, I could go, and it's not going to work. There's nothing you can do. The moment you get to that schoolyard, Crews for Schools is going to start wanding you without your permission because they are not a part of the school. They're not a part of anything. They're a part of themselves. Crews for Schools. It is a program that doesn't care how you feel. We only care about the security of others. The real security of others. And we don't need weapons to do it. Okay? We don't need weapons to do it. Because what we're doing is psychological warfare by numbers. That's it. Purely. By numbers and wands. I 100% I am certain that I can 100% put in 100% effort into nearly keeping it 100% murderous free inside of the schools on a psychological standpoint. Because really, if you were going to get into a school after my program, you would probably have to have bombs or grenades or something to clear out the yard to get in. Because rather than that, you just won't get into that school with any type of metal. And let's say you're going to use plastic. Let's say you want to use plastic. Well, I don't really know how far you're going to get with trying to hurt people with plastic, but my guess is you'd have to have probably some type of stabbing device if it's going to be plastic, and even then it better be some good plastic. But with it being plastic, no one's going to be super afraid, which then that's going to be another psychological thing because if nobody's afraid of you, and then you're not willing to get too close to stab somebody because there's probably somebody bigger than you. Seems how you're probably mad because you get bullied all the time, which I'm not saying it's okay, but there's usually typical psychological reasons why people do things in the first place. So the chances of being the big guy and not having to worry about nothing are, well, slim to none. So having said that, are you really going to now try and stab people while you're inside the school that could probably take you out? I mean, no, you're not. So then there goes that possible idea. It could happen, but that's a problem that instantly be solved. Somebody might take a stabbing, but we can still take the person out instantly, and eventually then that'll go through as well. That's not a good idea. So, you know, there you go there. Having said that, no violence. No violence. Because, well, there's just no way in. There's no way in. There's no way in. You know, period. And each one of these people that sign up, you know, and want to be a part of Crews for Schools, of course, we gotta come to the, you know, conclusion that there is, it always will be, a possibility that somebody does think that they can take out Crews for Schools first, and then get into the school, and then do destruction. And perhaps there is going to be somebody that will try. But I honestly don't believe that anybody's going to go through that kind of trouble to go into a school to do violence, because really it's not violence they want to do to anybody in general. It's just the fact that they're so upset at maybe a person or two, and then perhaps upset at the system because the system didn't help them. Sorry guys, because the system didn't, you know, help them. But rather than that, when they really put it towards a standpoint of when they gotta think about it, I really feel this way. When they gotta think about it, am I really willing to die for this? Because they're willing to die for it if it's part of their plan. But if their plan's messed up, then it's not so much dying for their cause, it'd be dying for perhaps somebody else's cause. And I don't think that's what people shoot for when they go on these type of rampages. I think it's about their way, and then they go out with what they feel is their destined way to prove a point. Maybe I don't know. I don't have those thoughts. But I am certain that if they were laying in bed, preparing themselves for a day of destruction, and then they had to be like, oh crap, I can't go do that. It's gonna be 100% improbable to get past Crews for Schools. You're gonna have to take out you're gonna have to have a system. You're gonna have to have a buddy system. You know, that's what you have to do. You just have to have a group of maliciously destructive, evil people that would want to work together to get inside of a school to do damage. Or a learning facility. It doesn't have to be a school, anywhere that people do it, you know, just in general. But schools is my main concern, because I'm tired of, you know, I don't even let my daughter go to public schools for many reasons. She has medical issues, but even then, like, if she didn't, I still wouldn't let her. Because it's ridiculous. But think about that for a second, though. Crews for Schools. Think about how useful this will be. Think about how much safer you'll feel about your students going to school when you now know 100% for sure that everybody that's thinking about going into that school, before they can even get into that school, have already been checked for weapons by like several people. Because you don't just get checked one time, okay, and then everybody else is like, oh, dude said he was good. No, the rule is with Crews for Schools, whoever walks by you gets wanted. So you got one guy here, Crews for Schools, one guy here, Crews for Schools, one guy here, Crews, boom, boom, boom. You know, almost like in a zigzag, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And when you got a dude, let's say, walking down the middle that, you know, is about to go in, sorry, but you just got wanted by this dude. You got wanted by this dude, by this dude, by this dude. You get wanted by them all. That is the thing. That's the psychological point. You will not be able to fool anybody, because if you think one person missed it, yeah, I'm getting it. Everybody, you get everybody, and the number changes. It depends on how many people you want to walk by, but they'll be spread out so evenly that there is no way that you don't get wanted by the same amount of people every time. Like, period. So on a psychological standpoint, I'm going to create this program that is just going to eat up all the bad people's minds and all of their ideas when it comes to, well, doing destruction inside of a building. I mean, period. And then I don't believe you'll have to worry about destruction outside of the building, like if people wait till the school's out to do the damage, because, well, they're more or less just going to have to wait outside in front of everybody, and by then, crews or schools are going to be obviously trained for looking for that kind of stuff. Like, and but the thing is because they're not an organization, like not part of the schools or anything else, who give a shit about harassment. If I think that you're standing in front of a school for too long, if I think that, and it doesn't matter how long I think too long is, I'm gonna come up and hang out with you, and I'm gonna be like, "What's up, Crews for Schools? Zip zip." I'm gonna do this every 5 seconds until you go home, because you're making me nervous. You know what? Ain't not a person gonna care, because there's no reason for someone to just be hanging out in front of a school that long. Not a parent, not a grandparent, nothing. Nothing. Without the school being identified. Without the school knowing. So then if I can get the schools to work with us on this, not be a part of it or whatever, then they can be walkie-talkies and communication. Hey, this person's just been chilling out here. I ain't asking your permission for nothing, but like, y'all don't know these people, do you? Give them their name. But then if they want to share information with you, like, oh yeah, no, they're here to pick up so and so, all that's cool. If they don't want to answer you, that's fine too. Whatever. Two different things. And it doesn't matter if people get all upset. Oh well, this is going on at that school. No, you're wrong. Nothing is going on at any school. We just stepped in and decided to do this ourselves. It had nothing to do with the schools. This is crews for schools. So schools don't have to worry about nothing. They already got enough on their plate. That's what the whole point of this is as well. I do believe a lot of reasons why the school doesn't do much to stop this kind of stuff is because there's so much on their plate already. But it looks like my battery is about to die. The screen is going blank, and if it does die, my video won't save. But remember, Crews for Schools, there's a whole purpose of all this. When I first started doing all my social media and started advertising and all that, I told you guys about this stuff, or what I wanted to do. We had the one store, Fogarty for Friends, Fogarty and Friends, coming to friendly family. And we've taken that, we've converted that into, Fogarty and Friends Presents. Now we got 11 different stores with 11 different names that sell 11 different niches. We're getting up there, but now we've obviously took all of our savings from the one store, broken that down, successfully started 11 stores, but now we're starting from ground zero again in the aspect of now I'm building up all those 11 stores, so we're back to being broke again. It has been a rough couple months. We went out power for a little bit. We went, lost the food card for a while, only living off from eBay, behind pretty far on some rent. Lost my roommate in the process of all this, but hey, you know what? Bird and I, we made it through it. We literally started these other stores when right in the gist of our hard times, because we said, you know what? We're not gonna stop our mission of saving lives just because we're in a little pickle. And we told the universe that we're gonna get through this, and we did. And you know what? Yesterday, the universe blessed us very, very well for all of our heartful work for the future. Things are going well. Got a great job. I didn't want to have to go back to work, but it is what it is. I can still build my businesses. It's just gonna take a little bit longer, but I gotta keep a roof over my birdie's head. So and I'm at the Northside Party Store. Y'all ever get bored? I'd be doing my YouTube videos and stuff on that too. It's just like Real Life Clerks. I already put out 4 episodes yesterday. So my phone only records a half-hour video on HD Full D, so they're just half-hour settings. But I'm just gonna do that, every 5 days a week. So record some content there. Just might not be so much talking and stuff like that, but it'll still be a rash in my life, whatever. And then as this goes on, I'll let you guys see some more fabrics, and once we get all the fabrics, cleaned and aired out, refreshened, refolded up, and all back to go, let you guys know everything. Don't forget to, subscribe, like to my channel, and check out all my social media. I'm on TikTok, Snap, Insta, LinkedIn, Tumblr. I mean, you name it, I'm on there. Unless there's things I don't know about, obviously, but I do 10 social medias all day long. Putting all my videos on there. So everything's Fogarty and Friends except for Facebook. That's just Brandon Fogarty, and I think Instagram is Kills for Life. But rather than that, everything else should be Fogarty and Friends. But again, thank you for tuning in this morning. And you guys all have a wonderful day. And I will be back on later on this evening. I'll have my videos posted from today's Friday at the party store. I love you guys all. Thank you all for the support. Again, like, subscribe, share, and remember, tell your friends about Cruise for Schools. Everything I just told you about, tell your friends, tell your family, spread the word. Cruise for Schools. Start hashtagging Cruise for School. Y'all might have kids, or maybe know somebody that does. I really doubt that there's one person in this world that doesn't at least know somebody or has a neighbor or visually sees somebody with kids at least once in their life and has a little bit of compassion. So just think about it like that, okay? If you truly, truly care, this program, literally, that I am starting, can save an endless, and I do mean endless, amount of lives. That I think we can all agree upon that when it's broken down the way I just broke it down. And I can break it down much deeper. But I'm learning more about psychological stuff, and I'm studying, psychology right now. Not in the aspect of like study, but just in the aspect of there's just a lot of psychologists that I listen to on podcasts and stuff and learn a lot from. And I don't just do 1 or 2 hours a day. I mean, I'll do 12 hours a day just listening to the same stuff. I have it in the background all the time. There's stuff in the background right now. I'm a big Jordan Peterson fan. And a lot of it's ridiculous. A lot of good people out there, a lot of good information. But having said that, again, Cruise for Schools, like, subscribe, share, follow me on social. I'm out.